afternoon, I'm Peter Quayle and I work as a fund manager in the investment management team, and I'm going to give you a brief overview of this week's market summary. Following a relatively subdued period, global trade was firmly top of the agenda again last week, and despite the US and China's tit-for-tat exchanges, most other equity markets posted positive returns. Seeking to exert pressure on China in order to progress stalling trade negotiations, on Friday the 10th of May, the US raised tariffs from 10 to 25% on 200 billion of goods they import from China. In retaliation, China announced it will impose tariffs on 60 billion of goods imported from the US from the 1st of June. The US quickly followed up by publishing a list of a further 300 billion of Chinese goods they are willing to hit with tariffs, which is essentially all products not already subject to tariffs. However, despite the apparent escalation, Trump eased tensions somewhat by confirming he will meet with Chinese President Xi at the upcoming G20 meeting in June. This provided some relief, as it was their meeting last December which delayed previously planned tariffs and got negotiations back on track. Trump is under pressure to deliver ahead of next year's presidential elections, and with China trade talks stalling, he's certainly up in the ante. However, he appears mindful that tariffs will ultimately weigh on consumers and businesses, as later in the week he postponed automobile tariffs scheduled to be implemented Saturday the 18th of May and scrapped tariffs on Canadian and Mexican aluminium and steel. Chinese data disappointed last week, as industrial output, retail sales and investment all slowed more than was forecast. The impact of US tariffs will not be reflected in economic data for a number of weeks. However, with data already softening, it's highly likely that China will react to support the economy with further easing of monetary and fiscal policy. In the UK, cross-party Brexit talks reached an impasse as the government announced it would hold another vote on the withdrawal bill early in June. After the vote, Theresa May has agreed to set a timetable for her departure as Prime Minister, and that resulted in a number of MPs announcing they intend to run for Conservative Party leader. With Labour unwilling to support the withdrawal agreement without significant changes and a leadership battle building, it's unlikely the vote will be successful, and the future of Brexit will likely fall to May's successor. And Brexit negotiations are likely to take a backseat during the campaigning. Now, that's all from me this week. Don't forget, if you haven't already, you can also read more detailed insight into matters affecting the markets in the email.